So here is the massive log that, well, it was a tree, but this one right there is the one that we're going to pull with this little horse wheel or something. I forgot what it's called. But Steve's trying to get it on logs to roll it. In theory, that's a good idea. But as you'll see, it goes a little bit, and then the wheel starts spinning. So, this was not the best idea, but, you know, whatever you got to do. So we decided to wrap a rope around it and pull it up the hill, and that worked quite well. But there was moments where the horse would spin. So then we had to come up with another idea, and Steve had a pretty good idea of getting logs and putting the logs underneath it, and that really was a great idea. But here he goes trying to pull it, and I'm on the other side with a bar trying to push it along like he's doing. So then he goes and grabs the logs, but we didn't get it that far yet. Right at that little ridge right there is where we started. So, but he's got the logs now. And it really does work well. This wrapping the rope around the log was a good idea. So if you ever have to get a big log up a hill, that works. He's going to adjust his poles, and he's going to pull. And he's like a little horse himself. But every time we got it an inch, we put the log behind it so it wouldn't roll back, because it tried to roll back, of course, because we're on a hill. And there I am trying to get it up on the log. And that works pretty well if you don't have a tractor. But be careful if you're on a hill, because that is not the greatest thing. Now, finally, I tell Steve, well, why don't you get the tractor and use that? But he doesn't listen to me right away, and he keeps pulling. I'm not really sure why he wanted to break his back. It's not really clear to me. But here he goes pulling again. And mind you, he did have a sore back the next day. So, but finally he listens, and he goes and gets the little work horse, or wheel horse, I think it's called, and backs it down this time to put all the pressure on the back tires. And that was the ticket. And it's very smooth once it starts cracking. And he goes quite a bit. He's just taking it slow. Now here I think that we're gonna knock right into it. See, he's yelling at me because the rope ran out and it started rolling back. Thank God it hit a little flat area. But this is how far we've gotten it up the hill so far, which is a good ways. And Steve's up there getting it ready too, wrapping the rope around it and getting it ready to pull again. Come on, Steve, wrap it around. Wrap it around. And here we go again. Making another attempt to get it up further up the hill, which is working great. And we did not hit the access, which is good. And he had to keep manually flipping it over bushes and stuff. but it worked quite well. And if you ever get stuck, this is a great way to get it around the bend. Oh, look, we go back. We go back. Now he's got to turn it around so we can get it the rest of the way. There we go. And he'll come and adjust it again, so it straightens it out, so it's not going off into nowhere's land. And then we're going to attach it one more time, I think. And we'll be close enough where we can roll it. And this is very heavy. Steve estimated it probably weighed 400 pounds. But then we got it there. Good job. Now we just have to turn it so we can get it onto the miser, which is our mill. So it took two of us to get it there, but we got it. There's our dogs cheering us on. So he was pulling and I was pushing. And there I am trying to get it up on the first log to go up to the miser. So Steve's pulling, I'm pushing. Finally we get it over there. That was hard work. Now he's going to put a block there so we don't roll back. And he's keeping it with his leg and his toe. He's got steel toe boots on. And we finally get it up on both logs. So then we're going to work together to get it up the rest of the way. So a little adjustment of the camera, and there we go. I think we're kind of making it look kind of easy, but it wasn't. Really wasn't. It was a pain in the butt-ski. But after we get it adjusted, get the logs where they need to be so that it just rolls right up. There we go. Are we ready, Steve? Oh, no. Now we got to get the rope off. But I was telling him, roll it up there with the rope on it. Then there's bars on the miser that are going to block it, and it's going to be hard to get it off. So get it off now. So he does. But he had it wrapped around there quite a few times. But finally he gets it off. And then we are discussing our moves. And we go. So the final push to get it over the hump was a little bit hard, but we did it. And now we're just pushing it to the edge of the miser so we can cut it. And there's the victory dance. We did it. So now we'll cut the piece. And here we go. He's getting it ready, getting it lined up, going for his first cut to clear off the top. And we're off. There we go. Well, I think he's still adjusting. It's hard to tell. There we go. He's got his first piece off. And he's going to cut some 3x8s for the side panels of what we're building now, which you'll see in a different video. So, but the miser works quite well, and he was very excited to get some big pieces of wood because we had a lot of little trees and they don't give a lot of wood. So now we're just kind of flipping it over as we're trying to make all sides square. And there he goes for another pass. Takes the little piece off. It looked like a guitar, and he thought he'd try to play it. And now he's got another 3/4 inch. And now we're going to roll it again. So there was some passes in here that he was just taking the knobs off the tree. And I think he's going to go for another 3/4 inch, which are great for side panels on what we're building. And then he's going to flip it around again. We're going to get a nice big square piece. And you can already see it's turning into a lovely square. Now he got the knobs off. Now he's going to go in for a piece. And that was junk, I guess. Now he's going to go for a 3/4 inch. Yep. As you can see, it's a big ass pole now. And I think he's going to go for one more 3/4. And then we're going to start making, I think he made 10x6s. He's just spinning it around, setting up the holders. And then we're going to go, I think this is where he goes for 2x6. You will see. Nope. 3/4 inch. But he is going to go for that. But he was measuring to see how much he could get off of the piece of wood. Oh, that's a nice pole, or a stud, or a beam. Yep. Come on, Steve. Let's do some cutting here. You got quite a few boards out of this big fat tree. As we speak, he's actually down getting the 8-footers. And he gets stuck on wood. So here he goes. And now he'll finish his 2x6. And he gets a nice size board. He's going to go for another one. Really, the Miser does a great job. I mean, it's got its flaws, don't get me wrong. There's things that are just messed up about this thing. But the housing that you see, the flat part, gets full of dust. It doesn't come out because there's water involved in keeping the blade cool. But now he's going to cut some 2x4s. And he gets quite a few of those for the rafters of what we're building, which is lovely. Well, he's very excited to get these nice pieces of wood. I mean, he's been building with trees thus far, so having this beautiful wood all milled is wonderful. And it's actually drying quite quick. You notice that it was doing its wood thing and cracking a bit, and very interesting. Here he's wondering how many more pieces he can get, and he actually ends up cutting a 3x4 3x4, I think he said. I don't know. It was a larger piece, but he said it didn't matter. But we're going to go in for one more cut, I think, and then we're done. Yep, we are. And you can see all the wood that we got off of this tree, which is great. And this will do a good job.